Hey Tate, how are you? I want to welcome you and everybody, viewers. This is Tate. He is a master inspector with Homechek, and today's topic, of course, is going to be home inspection, which is a important topic. And as the market is shifting right now, back into kind of the buyer or a balanced kind of a position, we're seeing more and more inspections come back into play as buyers are now requesting to have those done before purchasing the home, which is a good thing. I'm a big fan of getting inspections done because you need to know what you need to
Sure.
know about the home. So with that said, Tate, why
Without
don't
a
you?
doubt.
Yeah, definitely, Tate. Why don't you introduce yourself and kind of talk a little bit about the home inspection process, so to speak.
Absolutely. Yes, I'm Tate Kruszon with Homechek. I am a certified master inspector. We are certified through, get my right shoulder here, through Internachi. Um, and the Homechek itself, Homechek Incorporated, has been around for 30 years.
Wow.
So we've got staying power, around for a good long time. So it speaks volumes to the type of job that we do. I do have 35 years experience in the service and maintenance industry, as well as building and remodeling, as well as home inspection. So I've got a big encompassing scope of background. Been in construction and those types of things ever since I was 14. So a wealth of knowledge here. The territory that we cover, we do have three inspectors that will cover the Maryland market. We also cover, in where I'm at is up in the PA area. We go from Chambersburg, well north of Harrisburg, to like Eastern Lancaster towards Philly.
Wow.
Just came down from Reading here today to get to this meeting. So yeah, we cover a pretty big territory. What we do is called a visual inspection. So we're using our eyes. We're not Superman, even though we do have some really cool tools that will help us to uh, almost see into walls, like infrared guns, moisture meters, and things like that. Really help us to get within the house. But it's important to know this is a visual inspection. It's limited to what we can see. We do not dismantle things. We're not taking things apart. So it's important to clarify that. Um,
But we're
Things
really quick,
that
Tate,
we
to
go
say
for.
something though. But because I've used Home Check a lot with a lot of the purchases. I will say though, you do get into various spaces that we typically don't see, right? You get into crawl spaces, you get
Without a
into
doubt.
yeah,
Yes, yeah, no, we're I'm up onto the roof. I'm taking a look at the entire exterior. I always work my way from top down, so roof, chimney down to the grading. We go into the attic, and I work my way down through the house, through the interiors, running water because water runs downhill. So we start at the top, work our way down through, and get into those lower spaces. We'll get into the crawl spaces that are accessible, all through your basements and things. So we do get into those areas that you can't get to,
yeah.
and get into those spaces where you can't go. So it's really important to have that home inspection done to get those areas looked at so that there's no surprises for you when you move in.
Yeah, one
Yep.
other thing I do want to say, Tate, sorry to cut you. A lot
No,
of
no,
people,
you're fine.
a
I
lot of
like
people
talking.
think, no, it's a lot of people think that inspections really are for the buyer, but I recommend when before listing a house that a
Yeah,
seller actually gets an inspection done because you don't know what you don't know, and it's
exactly.
important that a seller understands what may come up because a buyer's going to request the inspection. So, it's good to
Yep.
know what's up there. And if you have to get something fixed or something major comes up, it's best to know that right away and be able to fix
Yep.
that. So, I know we say buyers a lot, or we say it's important for a buyer, but the reality is it's buyer and seller should be getting an inspection done.
Without question. And if a buyer is waiving inspection, if I was an agent, I'd be talking to my seller about, you know what, we should probably get a home inspection done just to cover ourselves. So a lot of people don't realize they get a home inspection. When I'm out there, I'm actually protecting everybody involved so that there's no surprises all the way across the board. So yes, pre-listing inspections, I do talk about those and encourage people to get those. By someone that knows how. You know my tagline: get that inspection by someone that knows how. It's important to have someone that's reputable in the industry, who has a good reputation, in the real estate market, so that when you do that pre-listing inspection, you can hand that report off and say, hey, look, this has already been inspected by Homechek, by Tate Kruszon. And a lot of times they'll be like, oh, yes, no problem. We don't need to get this inspected because it's already been done by someone that I trust.
Yeah.
So that's an important thing. Other ways to get inspections is also, let's say if you're a power of attorney, you just now have a house that landed in your lap that you need to get ready to list and sell. You have no idea about the house. You might have been your parents' house. You haven't been there for a while. It's a good idea to get the home inspection so that you know what's going on with the house. And there's, again, no surprises. And the nice thing about that, with the pre-listings by a reputable company like us, and it's going to, more often than not, going to have buyers waive that inspection because they trust the company that you had it done by. And what's that do? It gets you to the settlement table faster.
Absolutely.
It helps to streamline things. And you're not handcuffed by the buyers and whoever whoever inspector they have come in that you may not be too fond of.
That's true. And Tate, that's a really good point, Tate, because I've had that happen in the past where my seller has done the inspection and they shared it with the buyer. It actually, the confidence of the buyer goes through the roof because they're like, okay, these people are serious about making sure I get a quality product when I sell. It actually lifts the asking price up because then people are not, hedging a little bit because I got to make sure for anything unknown, because everything's basically on the table and disclosed. And the seller, at times, there was one time, Tate, that I had a seller that had an issue that it got it fixed, right, because of the inspection. And they showed it on the disclosure. They said, we did the inspection, we addressed it through a contractor, it's fixed and not an issue. But if we got into negotiations and it was a major issue, the power swings from the seller to the buyer to say, if I got to fix this, then we got to lower the price down, or you got to do something. And the seller starts losing some footing with the net price that they're going to get. So I'm with you 150% on that. If you're a seller, it is, a lot of people are, I don't want to spend the $500-600 up front. Well, the $500-600 or $700 you're going to put for an inspection repays in spades when you're selling your house, because it's less headache, to your point. And then it also drives the price up a little bit because you don't have to worry about negotiating that second negotiation that goes on after the first one. A lot of people don't think about that. And that is, after the inspection's done and there's things that are found, the buyer, can say, hey, you know what? I'm not feeling good about this. What are you going to do about your price? Because I got to fix it, or are you going to fix it? So,
absolutely. Another thing is too, how many sellers are getting in their attic or the crawl spaces? How often are they doing that? So there's or climbing on the roof. Not many people do it. Not many people have the skill or the backbone to even get up there to do it.
No.
So again, chimneys are a place that we find, that, it's not a thing that people think about, and it's up in a location that, they're not going all the time. So, it is definitely a good idea to get that done. And then, like you said, you get those repairs done ahead of time. It shows good faith to your potential clients or potential buyers coming in. I've had a lot of people take our report, they have it all printed out, and they lay it out in a nice presentation, and then they actually interject receipts of work done by the professionals. They slip it in there, or they'll write in the margins, just so that they know, hey, this was found, here's what we did, and we took care of it.
And here's the other thing, and this is, for the buyer and seller, it's a smoother close. You don't have tension. You don't have that, tit for tat kind of mentality that sometimes erupts because of, things that are found or things that are frustrating for a buyer. And, the seller, yes, I say, if you're a seller that is very thorough, this is a no-brainer. But those that are trying to cut corners and save a little bit of money, and that you want to maximize all your money back, this is an investment. So the investment you're making in an inspection up front will net you more on the back end. Trust me, you don't know what you don't know until it's too late, and then all of a sudden you got to start answering and fixing things that you didn't anticipate. And it's best just to know it up front, because you could probably get it done probably cheaper when you have the time, right? So Tate, when we're in a closing process and we got 30 days to get things done, you got
Oh,
to
it's
expedite,
done. Yep, yep. You better know who you're calling.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. And they'll charge you premium because, look, guys, the
Yeah,
bottom line, the contractors know if you're under the pressure and you're under the gun and you got to get it done, then hey, the price is not an object. And all of a sudden you're paying potentially 25% higher than what you could have if you took your time and were, to your point, Tate, knowing who you're getting and the pricing and so forth. So
it's a great
sorry we went
point.
off on a
'Cause,
tangent there. Yeah.
yeah, it's a good point. And following on to that is they're not just sitting around waiting for your phone call either. You know what I mean? They're already have other work and stuff, so they likely have to pull off of something in order to take care of you that real quick. So if they are sitting around waiting for your call, you shouldn't be using them.
Yeah, that's a whole nother issue.
Right,
Hey,
right, right.
yeah,
Another
Tate,
avenue.
yeah,
Go
gotcha.
ahead. Let me just. I just want to throw in one other avenue for home inspection would be investors.
Ah,
Those people that are purchasing properties to maybe flip and resale. We do a lot of inspections for flippers.
mhm.
They purchase a property, they get it cleaned and cleared, then they have us come in and we do that full inspection for them so that they know what's going on. Then they'll take that report and they'll include that in their scope of work, in the work to flip the house. And then at a reduced rate, we'll come back and we'll do a re-inspection to clean that report so that they can then present a nice clean report to the
That's
buyers.
that's interesting. I didn't know that. For an inspector or for our investor team and group, we do have a group of those folks. But you're absolutely right. The first inspection is the rough and ready, so to speak. Here's where you're at. I like what you
Yep.
said. You put it in the scope of work, because a lot of times it's investors will get it is a project plan, right? It's from trying to get something done within 45 days, but it has to be included, and you're absolutely spot on to get that up front and done. And then the re-inspection, which that's impressive, for
Yeah.
an investor to do that just really seals the deal for a buyer to say, you know what, they went
Exactly.
they went the mile, for me.
Exactly. And you can let them know, hey, Homechek was out. They did a pre-inspection for us. We did the work. Here's a good clean final. We had them back out to check things, gives them peace of mind. And again, just puts them, I want to say, it's just the honesty factor, makes you feel more comfortable about purchasing that home.
Yeah, in real estate, in any facet of real estate, meaning that anybody that interfaces with property, being open and clear and about what's happening with the property is the best policy. So you don't want to you can't sweep anything under the carpet. It's going to come out. It's better to be talking about it forthright if there's
Yep.
issues with the property than to get to the table and have a lawsuit blow up in your face because it's perceived that you were trying to cover up something.
Correct. Without a doubt. Yep. Without a doubt. Yep.
So Tate, can you
But
cover off what are some of the major and granted, I was excited you and I had a conversation beforehand, going to have you back to talk about specific types of inspections within the overall inspection, but what are some of the inspections that are typically our buyers will initial off on to say, I want this type of inspection done as part of the home inspection overall?
yeah, well, the services that we provide, we have obviously the home inspection. Along with that, we do the wood destroying insect inspection as well. We are licensed to do those through the company. A lot of guys, if they're just taking a little class online and they do that, they really shouldn't be doing it. We have the licensing to get that done for you. So the wood destroying insect is important.
Yeah.
Also, we do radon testing.
Hmm.
We have digital monitors that we place in. They would sit down for a minimum of 24 hours. I'm sorry, 2 days in place. Take hourly readings while on site, and then we come back and pull those and give you those results for that. We do water testing, full scope of water testing, depending on any financing or anything that you want to have done. We take care of that for you. We also do mold air quality testing. We can come out, we do air sampling for you, and give you the results on that as well. We also do packages. So if you're looking to order, three, a lot of times people just go for that whole house and wood destroying insect and maybe throwing a radon. We do get package rates as well. And all that stuff is available online at yourinspectionpeople.com. You can go to view our current price sheet and all the available inspections and packages there. Just like Flow Progressive, right? Package and save.
Yes. Yep. That's right. And I will say that skipping inspections to save $100 here or there is not a good spend of your money. I would say spend the extra couple $100, get those other inspections done. It's better to know up front. And better to communicate that to the seller right up front, saying I want these inspections done, because the inspect, you never know what's going to be found, right?
Correct.
And it has to be remedied, and the best time to get it remedied is before you go to closing. After closing, it's too late.
Yep, absolutely. Think about the small amount of money that you're going to pay to have a home inspection done or any of those other tests. I mean, it's so worth it in the end when you think about the investment you're making in purchasing a home, the thousands of dollars that you're spending, a few $100s in the inspections. It's a drop in the bucket for peace of mind.
Yeah, and giving everybody a perspective, let's say you're buying a $200,000 home. That's $200,000, and we're talking about potentially $400, $500, $600, $700 package. $700 in comparison to a $200,000 investment is a drop in the bucket. And
correct.
I have had inspections where there was some major fines and it derailed the deal, and the buyer, I said, I'm so sorry this happened. The buyer was like, no, I'm glad we found it before we went to closing, and it wasn't a waste of money. I just saved myself a whole bunch of heartache and issues because we uncovered this major issue. The good news is that the seller fixed it, and we were able to move forward, but it wasn't even something the seller was aware of, and it wasn't that the seller was hiding it. It's just, to your point, there's things where you go or places you go that a seller typically won't go, or you won't go as a homeowner. So
exactly. And let's face it, how many people literally have a yearly maintenance schedule that they're going around the outside of the house and in all those areas and checking things out to make sure the upkeep is there.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't imagine it's many. I'm sure there are some, but it's not many.
no.
So yeah, I'm sure there are some surprises, and I get that when I'm on site and the seller might happen to be home, and something comes up. Oh my God, I don't go. I rarely go there. I had no idea, and I'm like, yeah, it's okay. Yep, it's one of those things. That's why we have the home inspection done to find those things.
Yeah. So, all right, as we kind of round out here, Tate, any final thoughts for our viewers and folks that are watching and eagerly getting ready to purchase a home? Any words of wisdom to them around inspections?
Well, okay. So here's the thing: me and at Homechek, there's so many companies out there that are, and a lot of people think of this, that the home inspector's coming in and they're just finding problems. There's a lot of companies out there that just their first priority is problems, problems, problems. And you come in with that negative train of thought, you're going to get a negative experience. So we at Homechek, we like to come in and we like to say that we investigate to educate. We are educators. We're giving you a home inspection experience. So we're coming in education minded first. Do we find problems? Absolutely. But having that education mindset first helps to set your mind right. We talk to people in a calm, cool way. We are not going to alarm people. Our report is a very straightforward, simple to follow report. We do have that significant findings page. If there is a significant finding, it's up towards the front. We do have photos that we do interject into the significant findings only to reinforce significant findings. We don't have a littered report of all kinds of photos where people are constantly, where's the problem? Where's the problem? They can't.
Where's the cross reference? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting a phone call like, I don't see the problem in this picture here, because there isn't one. Because there's so many inspectors out there that reports like, here's your kitchen, here's your, here's your roof, and then not necessarily a problem. I mean, they're worthless pictures.
Right.
Where we just put it in the significant findings, reinforce those items so we're not confusing the
Good. That's excellent.
situation. So nice, easy inspection, and we don't have any red ink. We do not use red ink. We are not alarming people. You're not going to get a report that's like big, bold red. Here's the big problem. No, we have it on the significant findings again, so it's easy to reference and find. So we're not like, being alarmists and getting people all worked up. So we try to keep things nice, calm, and cool. We're not here to blow up deals. We are hand holders. We are here to educate people on their home, and that's why I say we investigate to educate.
Yeah, and I have to back you up on that, Tate. So sorry to interject here, but
Okay,
I've had
please.
several buyers that have had conference calls with you, Tate, and some of your other team members where they walked them through the report and explained things. And again, as I'm trying to help the viewers here as well, is that it is an education process. Buying a home doesn't have to be a terrifying experience.
Right.
And
You're supposed to be happy.
Yeah, it should be exciting, but at the same time, it's education, because the more you know, the better off you're going to be. And as a homeowner, ownership is part of the American dream, right? So
That's it. And we say that all the time. We're there to help with that American dream.
That's right. So that's good stuff. Tate, anything else before we kind of close out here today?
I would say the reports. Reports you're going to get same day. So you might have it like that afternoon or that evening. So when we do an inspection, just expect to get it that night.
That's
so
yeah, because
so
a lot of times my buyers, a lot of times my buyers are wringing their hands. When when's that report coming? When's the inspection done? Because that is contingent. That's one of the contingencies in the contract is the inspection. And they're both buyers and sellers are hoping that it's not a bad report. So the fact that you get it back the same day is awesome. It allows them to kind of be able to focus on what's important and not get them worked up even more so on top of everything else that's going on. So that's very much
exactly. If you're up against it, on that contingency, you can get us in and you're going to get it that day or that night. So you're ready to write that reply or sign off on things the next day.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, Tate, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you had a crazy day today. And come and talk to us.
I'm happy to help.
Oh, yeah, no. And we're going to have you back to talk more about some of those the types of inspections you talked about, like radon, the whole house, the wood eating insects.
Wood destroying insects.
Yeah, wood destroying. Yeah.
And stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's more. There's probably more that is out there that we should actually talk about. That's
the king. We do have a whole bunch of other ones in there that we're looking for. Yep.
Yeah, and a lot of our viewers don't know what those are, so it's going to be important that we kind of talk about that and discuss those options. So,
sure.
All right. Well, thank you, Tate. Have a great rest of your day, and to our viewers, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And thanks for watching. Take care.
Hey, guys, get that home inspection by someone that knows how.
I agree. Take care. See ya.
See ya.